Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have kind of crazy news, and this is actually crazy news. I know I say crazy news a lot, but this is in all regards now to the Microsoft Activision merger, and now we're seeing a small group of people basically trying their best to go and stop this. Now, this isn't like a big regulatory issue or like some big business like a Google, Apple, or whatever, but just random, normal, everyday Joes are trying their best to be like, bro, let's not do this. Let's go scheme off this. And well, we're going to talk about this kind of nutty story over here, how there's just a few little folks and a few gamers trying to basically stop this deal. So if you guys want to give your thoughts and comments down below, feel free to. And as well, if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. As well, for the brand new PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, or $500 giveaway, we have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below, in case you guys want to go follow that on up. And of course, as well, the Amazon Target links too, for you guys to check out and see. And let's dive into the video. So I'm sure you guys have heard from time and time again on Twitter, Reddit, or my own YouTube channel that there's this huge Microsoft Activision acquisition been going on for quite some time. Now, we have had a lot of pushback as of per recent from like the FTC and like the Federal Trade Commission, the actual local government monopoly law, and of course also from the UK and other various regions, basically pushing back and forth that it could be a monopoly, it could be bad for streaming, could be bad for platinum growth, so think like Game Pass versus PS Plus versus, like Uplay, etc., EA Access, etc., and there's a lot of big deals with it. And one of the bigger things out here too is that some people just don't want to have to deal with Xbox or don't want to lose Call of Duty as an exclusive. So some crazy news is now we have a ragtag group of people that are now trying their best to sue Microsoft and use the courts to now stop this merger. So Microsoft Activision deal, gamers are now suing to stop the merger itself. Once again, like we have a lot of regulatory bodies that are kind of somewhat rightfully so skeptical. Microsoft is one of the biggest companies in the world, and they are also basically worth trillions of dollars, so they can buy out and basically buy out all competition. And it basically makes everything else harder to compete, and that means there's less innovation, that means there's more monopolies, and government just obviously never wants that. So that's why this is crazy that a few gamers are like, hey, let's not. So in the most recent court filing, Microsoft is now facing legal action from 10 gamers to block its merger with Call of Duty maker Activision Blizzard. The lawsuit filed in a US federal court says that the 69 billion or 56 European pounds, whatever that mystical currency is, deal by the Xbox console maker to purchase its rival will create a monopoly in the video game industry. Now, a lot of folks have been arguing that, and basically, as you guys probably know, the Xbox counterpoint is that, hey, no, we're the smallest of the three. We've had the least amount of console sales. We have not as many Game Pass subscribers as other prior platforms, and we're just trying to grow our business. We don't have as many exclusives. We're not making as much money. We're not basically charging $70 for our games yet, and we don't have a global kind of takeover in comparison to, say, like Japan, India, and all of that. And that's kind of a big thing they keep on noting, is that, well, for them, they're trying to say we're smaller. And in theory, they technically are, but if you go and push a $70 billion deal, they might be a little bit bigger. So the complaint comes now 2 weeks after that U.S. regulators filed the case with an administrative judge to block the deal. So far we kind of have the normal, everyday people now apparently against it with those 10 gamer squads, and now with the U.S. regulators as well. The merger would be the largest tech deal ever in the video game market. The proposed acquisition will give Microsoft far outsized market power in the video game industry, according to the complaint itself that was just filed, with the ability to foreclose rivals, limit output, reduce consumer choice, raise prices, and further inhibit competition. And that does kind of go hand in hand. Now, we all kind of know this because it's been kind of critiqued recently, but a big thing is to note is that they do spend $70 billion, and we have had Phil Spencer say, hey, yo, we're probably going to raise the price of some things. It could be Game Pass, could be other things. We don't really know at the end of the day. So as they do that, we're watching this and looking at this. And it's crazy to see because it is true. Like, what would ever stop them from maybe literally keeping the same exact cheap Game Pass price, and then the second they get the Call of Duty deal done, raise up everything to $20 and include, Bethesda games, include Activision games, throw in like an Overwatch bundle, Battle Pass, or whatever. But also the same thing with consumer choice, because that would mean that you're pretty much soft law to either Steam or on console, probably on, well, Xbox. Granted, you can still maybe buy it on PS5 for a few years, but at some point it will go away. We still have that undisclosed at this point. and also limit the output to as well, which would also maybe make sense because maybe there's specific deals or specific outside funding or advertising deals with places like PlayStation or Nintendo or PC or Origin or whatever it might be for these games in competition, and well, that will be taken away, and of course, potentially foreclosing rivals. Now, I don't think Nintendo and PlayStation, Steam, EA, Origin, etc. are probably not going to get foreclosed on, but the big deal still is that these bigger companies could potentially be taking out smaller streaming services, and we always keep on mentioning Google Stadia. Well, Google Stadia itself could potentially be a big deal that they just they closed. Like, that was big competition. They just got rid of it. They just think it was worth a lot of money. So if Google can't do it, what will any small company do? So almost 2 weeks ago, too, as well, the Federal Trade Commission, or the FTC, raised similar concerns in their complaint. So it is kind of mirroring that. So now we have like normal individual folks just randomly doing legal action for God knows why, and obviously big government bodies. So the U.S. business watchdog said that Activision was once a small number of top video game developers that made high-quality games for multiple devices. So they're kind of trying to think like it's almost its own big, major, separate entity, which in my opinion, I think it is. And as they go through that, they kind of realize that, well, it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big struggle. So the proposed acquisition would give Microsoft both the means and motive to harm competition by manipulating pricing, making games worse on its competitors, video game consoles, or withholding content from competitors entirely, resulting in harm to consumers, the agency said in a press release. And that is kind of always still funny, though, because I will have to go and sass PlayStation for what it's due. PlayStation was the company that was pushing for these exclusives, pushing for like specific content, like pushing for specific maps, betas first. So at the end of the day, like, I really think and still stand by that PlayStation would be probably cool with these deals, and they should be if they're just released at the same time with a fair market competition, say for Call of Duty, but they can still sell Call of Duty, so they're maybe not making an extra, say, $100 million, but at the end of the day, they can still make a lot of profit from Call of Duty, microtransactions, and everything in between. So the FTC filed its lawsuit. Microsoft President Brad Smith said the company had complete confidence in our case and welcomed the opportunity to present our case more in court, which is funny because this is becoming more back and forth than we're all kind of expecting. We continue to believe that our deal to acquire Activision Blizzard will expand competition and create more opportunities for gamers and game developers, which, I mean, if they do it all right and they make it proper and they have, a good excuse, good business plan, and also proper contracts in place, that could actually go and happen. But as I mentioned, the bigger deal is that we just have all these other side issues that are just not working. So I don't know. Microsoft also announced it will make Call of Duty available on Nintendo, as I'm sure you guys have heard, for 10 years, and offered a similar deal for PlayStation, and with added bonus, potentially also tied on in with PlayStation Plus subscribers or subscriptions, which is also very, very intriguing to note and look at. Now, this sounds alarming, so I want to reinforce my confidence that this deal will close. Activision Blizzard Chief Executive Bobby Kotick wrote in a letter to staff, which is funny because we haven't been seeing too much on the Activision side, but we have seen a lot on the Xbox side being like, no, it's going to happen, no, it's good, no, it's going to work. Now, Activision definitely wants us to work because their stock price has gone far and far more down the hill than it was when they announced this deal, but as well, they also wanted to get those sign-on bonuses. They want like brand, like it's kind of like good for Activision. Obviously, they might get like additional money, additional buyouts, different, like maybe more severances or whatever it may go and be. They say the allegations that this deal is anti-competitive doesn't align with the facts, and we believe we'll win this challenge. This has become more of the most profile legal fights to emerge from U.S. President Joe Biden's pledge to take a harder line against monopolies. And that has actually been a big campaign standard and a brand new push on things like the FTC, because they want to make sure that monopoly laws that were really loose for a while and really chill for a while, because basically Microsoft had a chance to buy a lot of different competitors, same with other big tech hubs. Now they're kind of realizing like, hey, we may have gave them a little bit too much extra power and maybe have given them a little bit of a little too much. So they kind of want to calm that down, or more so prevent the bubble from exploding even more. So it's intriguing because only a small group of people at the end of the day want to go and stop this. Just random people are like, bro, we don't want this deal. It's not worth it. And I'm more surprised that they're even spending all this random legal money on it, because you have to pay money to file this and deal with this. Like, unless you have like your own indie studio or something. At the end of the day, I probably would just let the courts go and lie. But it's funny because, well, random people are now trying to sue and stop Microsoft and stop the deal, but apparently everyone still on both Activision and Xbox sides still believe it's going to be going through. So I would love to hear your thoughts and comments down below, and as well, Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, or $500 giveaway itself, ending very, very soon. Twitter and Twitch stream down below, Target links down below, and Amazon links too. And I appreciate you guys all so much here for watching in the first place.